Hello, Internet. I'm me, and this is Kamen Rider Gaim, episodes the last three. And the reason I wanted to do the last three for this one is also because it parallels with the last episodes of Kyoryuger, where one is ending, one is truly beginning, and Kamen Rider Gaim is really beginning in these last three episodes. As I heard in one of the interviews that up till about episode 13, it was what was going to be called the Beat Writer arc, pretty much going about childhood and childish things, and pretty much explaining why it had a very laid back sensibility and not a very serious and focused, and kind of an aimless view if you think about it. A lot of the things about it are almost childlike. Uh, Again, aimless view, carefree, using powers irresponsibly, and just using them as toys. Pretty much ripping a hole into another dimension and just thinking it's okay to do that. And then you have what is now the first three episodes of what are called the Idrisil arc, which is going to be a very adulthood theme about taking these childish things and then thrusting them into what, well, responsibilities they have, with the powers, with what you're messing with, what they truly are, um, from how people change. And in this theme, hell, Kamen Rider Gaim has become one of the more interesting things I've ever been watching for Tokusatsu. While Kyoryuger was my fun Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider Gaim is my let me pull out my pipe and look at it as I am interested. Because a lot of the themes, not so subtly, come into their full potential in these last three episodes. Or not in their full potential, but are starting to, well, come into bloom. Um, Michi has actually switched sides and has become an employee of Ichisil. But has he? What has he seen in the Helm, the forest, the interdimensional forest? That one, you know that they see something there. He sees something there after his brother catches him, becoming one of the riders, and he shows him it, and it rocks him to his core. And now he works for Aegisil because he does not want it to be shown to the public. It should not be shown to the public that these childish, naive thoughts of freedom for everything and everybody should know everything is not always right. And the clear definitions of what is right and what is wrong have become blurred as you get into adulthood. As you can see, again, I like these parallels. Like when you're a child, there's the good guys, there's the bad guys. We paint everything in a very black and white persona when we're children, or we're taught that at least. And then when you grow older, those things that you thought were so black and white suddenly become very gray and mixed in between. And so Michi is going through this with his brother, who is clearly, supposedly, back when he was in the childlike state of mind, a black, dark character with Idrisil, which is this evil black organization, while he's struggling to stay with his friends Kota and the other beat writers, well, the Gaim beat writers per se, who at that time were colored the very bright white and good side of everything. And Michi's stuck in the middle in this gray area, not being able to tell his friend what's really going on, but not wanting to let himself be controlled by Idrisil. At the same time, Kota is trying to find things out on his own, except for he can't place everything together. He's starting to see that as he digs deeper and deeper into this stuff, that things start to unravel more and more. Friends start to get hurt in a crossfire. People are misusing the lock seeds and trying to use monsters to rob banks and be evil, because other beat writers have been thinking, well, if the public thinks we're evil, let's just be evil, right? Right? See, a lot of really good stuff in there. Really, like, you gotta, arm deep, dig in there. I really like Kamen Rider Gaim now. I know I was a bit iffy on it, but now that I've seen where it's going, where it said it's like the child's arc and the adult's arc, I wonder if there's going to be a third arc. What is the third arc? What's in the forest? What has Michi so conflicted in that forest? And I'm going to be mostly talking about the last episode of the three, because the three episodes all kind of lead into this one. As pretty much they got their asses kicked by Yggdrasil, got kidnapped, got taken to Yggdrasil, got explained what the drivers were, and that they actually are accumulating more power and more add-ons, and explain why there were so many forms rapidly showing out and how it was tested. We figure out that people have been dying who were turned into monsters. We were figuring out that Michi was getting caught on camera doing all these things. The DJ is actually a part of, well, we think it's a part of the resistance, because Idrisil doesn't know that he gave Kota the new lemon energy and the other thingy that I keep forgetting what it's called. So they're letting Kota go and use this power so that the more he uses it, hopefully the person who gave it to him will be flushed out. And there's a lot of, and once we're introduced to all the people of Idrisil, well, not all the people, like the professor and I keep forgetting his name, Michi's brother, um, bowler hat dude and chick. All of them have their own little agendas and their own little ways of thinking. And once Michi is thrown in there, they're quite expecting him to be a child. And he has that bit of childlikeness to him. However, he also is very manipulative. And when they throw him into, like, they pretty much threw him into the deep end, hoping that he would probably drown, you know? And they're mostly surprised by how well he's floating, honestly. He's a very good manipulator. He even figures out, like that. Like, well, I'm not anything of a muscle type of guy, hence my power being like grapes, and I shoot people from afar. So my brother probably brought me in to see how well I can manipulate and control situations and others. And he actually pulls out a kidnapping scheme with Kota's sister to get the driver back, that his brother demanded him to get back. And a lot of things happen here. Okay, so Peach henshins and fights Kota, even though I keep forgetting. Ah, man, I keep wanting to call him Mr. Dangerous or bald, gay, flamboyant French Japanese dude. Let's just call him Mr. Dangerous, because I can never remember names. But Mr. Dangerous was sent there to take Kota's driver, and he really didn't want the peaceful way. So he sabotaged the plan so that he would be forced to fight. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to take it through for force. And didn't expect the lemon energy to happen, so he got his ass kicked. And of course, Peach, the Peach writer, who, again, don't know her name, she's the only girl there, only girl, who's pretty much whispering in Michi's ear going, hey, you gonna kick your friend's ass? You gonna do it? You gonna do it? You gonna kick your friend's ass? Because you gotta pick a side here. You're an adult now. You wanted to dive in the deep end here? Hey, here's the deep end. Kick his ass. What are you doing, bro? I'm taking him. I'm equal to him, kind of. Like, Kota even kind of admits, whoa, she is way too damn strong. Like, she outlasts him. I think he could have taken her down. Honestly, I think if, like, Kota actually trained in some form of martial arts, he might have been able to take her. But I digress. And Michi is dealt with this hard ideal. Does he take out his friend, or does he keep with the new company? The black and white again coming into play, and he decides to shoot Peach, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then like, Kota is like, "Ha ha, my friend prevails," and then like runs, and later we find out that of course the professor wants Kota alive or around to flush out the person who gave him the lemon energy, uh, Lockseed. However, that is not the entire extent of the plan. Supposedly, Michi and the professor are actually working together on something, but we don't know what. And the plot thickens. There's a lot of twists and turns in this plot that I can't see coming. I really did think Michi, well, as dark as this, well, not dark, but as serious and hard-boiled as this plot was turning, I was really expecting Michi to just kind of fuck over Kota, and somehow they get out of it. I don't know. Or like Kota loses a friend, and he's like, damn. But it turns out Michi's just kind of stalling to a point where he can just stay with his friends and keep that happiness of childhood until he can just leave it. It's almost an addiction. It's almost a man-child syndrome if you think about it. It's when you grow up and you remember all the things that when you were a kid made you really happy, and they still do. So well, the adult thing is to throw those things away and move on with your life, but you still want to hold on to them because they're what make you happy. And so you say, I'll just hold on to it a little longer and a little longer, even though eventually you do have to throw it away. But what does that say about us growing up? Is that meaning that we have to forcibly make ourselves grow up and leave behind childish things, even if they make us happy, to take on new responsibilities and harder decisions? Is it, again, a lot to talk about in this freaking show, and it brings up a lot of good points. Again, let me just give these 3 episodes 9 out of 10, except for a couple of hiccups in the fight scenes, clear misses, and all that. Yeah, nah, dude, this is awesome, and I like it. I like it a lot. I can't wait to see what happens next, and it's got me interested. Even though, and this is something I like. Kota, for now, has been kind of pushed to the side in favor of Michi for these last 2 episodes, developing his character and his conflict. And you can hear how much I've talked about this conflict, and yet Kota is not gone. It's not like they just went, yo, Kota, get out of here. We got Michi to deal with, so we're gonna deal with only his shit. It still incorporates the characters and how they grow off of each other, grow against each other, grow crooked because they're trying to grow a certain way while situations are pulling them and pushing them into a different direction. And I think it's a very interesting thing to see. And again, it makes me want to see more. If you've ever seen my Super Mega Force review or the top 5 things I change about Super Mega Force, and you think, and somebody left a comment who said, I don't want character development in Power Rangers. And I think that is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because this Kamen Rider Gaim took an idea that everybody on the face value, everybody thought was stupid. Fruit Riders. Yay. That's a pretty fruity idea. Yeah. And use the characters to build it up to a point where it is the most interesting thing I've seen so far. And I just kind of, and the thing is, when I did those 2 Power Ranger things, it's not that I don't like, well, I do like Power Rangers, and I don't want to see it stay this kiddie form. That if Japan can let their shows grow, mature, and ask questions, why can't we let Power Rangers grow, mature, and ask questions? But whatever. Until I see you guys next time at the next exciting time of Kamen Rider Gaim, I wish you all peace. Man, this is taking a long time for me to hit this stop button.